Hello everyone, sorry for the delay. I tried to go live on my screen on the computer, but looks like I'm not able to. Something is not working, so I need to do it from here, from the computer. I hope you'll have something to learn in this, and even if nobody shows up, I show up for myself. Thank you so much for joining me. I tried to get in the computer and start a live from there, but I couldn't. So I found a different solution, doing it from a phone. Bring in your questions if you have them. Today we're gonna talk about how to heal tooth decay naturally, and if that's possible at all. Like what are the reasons that we have to decay in the first place, and it's not just about sugar and about not brushing teeth. That's just not true. We're gonna talk about how we can heal our tooth decay without needing to go very deep and do root canals or do extractions or other things. Like if your teeth already are decayed, it's possible to stop that, but of course we cannot grow the teeth back. That's a given, and we know that. It's another subject to talk about, but it is possible to actually stop a tooth decay. I do have the experience with it for my son. So my son Gabriel is 5 years old now, but when he was 2 years old, his teeth were decaying like absolutely incredibly fast, and it was 12 teeth which were decaying like so fast around 3 years old. And I said something needs to happen. Around 1, as soon as his teeth were coming in, I saw that there were black and brown dots on it, and I said something is going on, probably he's mineral deficient. I didn't know at that time what to do. I was like clueless about what was happening. So at this point, knowing everything I do and having that experience in the background and healing my son's tooth decay and my own too, just absolutely gives me the right to have the right tools how to do it for each one of you guys. All my life I lived in Moldova until 24 years old. I used to go to dentist like, I don't know, like to the bakery. I was going so often to the dentist, and I began going there at 11 years old, doing all these root canals, taking out the nerves. I'm no way a doctor, and I am not in a position to say that I know everything, because I don't and nobody does. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and also a mom, first of all, when it came to this tooth decay. And what happened is that I needed to find a way. I was going to doctors, to pediatricians, pediatric dentists, and I was asking questions. Why are my son's teeth decaying so rapidly? Right here, these 2 teeth were like eaten up overnight, every single night. And I see lots of kids with all these brown dots and ridges and broken teeth, and that's not normal. But what also happens is that they go to doctors who, and I don't say that dentists are not okay to go to. Definitely do it if you feel like it and you need it. They're there for different emergencies, for things which are important. It's also important that we change the way we're eating and taking care of our bodies on everyday basis. So that's one thing which I would say is that not just not brushing teeth and eating sugary drinks and juices causes a tooth decay, but it's also sleeping with open mouth, having these lip ties and tongue ties, when you are not able to do clicking sounds like this. My son was not able to do it until 2, until we released that tongue. Most of the time, when a child has these buccal ties right through here, there are forming different pockets of food in there, and all of those things are feeding the bacteria. And most of the times these kids are not able to close their mouths while they're sleeping. That's one aspect. When they are sleeping, they should have closed mouth, because the saliva is washing out those teeth and those minerals from the saliva is the one which keeps the integrity of the teeth. If not, then the pH becomes very acidic, and that's the reason we get this tooth decay even deeper and deeper in kids who are not sleeping with a closed mouth. If they're not sleeping with closed mouth and we're not able to solve that, it's not coming just speaking about nose, but maybe they have something in their nose or something in their throat that they are not able to breathe, or other issues, or maybe they were born with an issue like that. But one thing which I found, because we did surgery on my son, we did 3 of them. One total anesthesia surgery, and they cut underneath here with scissors and they saw it. That's a horrible procedure to go through. But another one we did of LASIK surgery, we did 2 of them, and none of them were well correct. This type of procedures are happening, unfortunately, for kids who have this tongue ties and lip ties. They're born of them. There are maybe other possibilities, but that's what I see, because my second son was also born with a tongue tie and lip ties. And we resolved that at a week old, and we never had the same issues with him like we had of Gabriel. Another thing here. So when you're not able to close your mouth when you're sleeping and you're a child, you can't understand what's happening. One thing which I found absolutely incredible was to put a product called, and I will give you guys links. I brought here the products I'm using, because I'm saying I'm not talking here just water. I'm gonna show you exactly what I use for my son's teeth to stop that decay, and now I'm using it for myself as well. So I'll give you a link if you want to support me to use it for a referral. They give you a discount for that, and I also get a referral. That's a win-win. So here is Bliss Energetics. It's absolutely incredible product. It's a tooth potty. I do not say that you need to buy it. It's your choice. It's a thing which absolutely helped us stop the tooth decay. When this tooth decay was going on for so long, I was trying coconut oil, I was trying ozone therapy, I was trying absolutely everything I knew about. And one thing which definitely was a game changer for us was to add this thing and one more. So if you have iodine, just iodine of 2%, you take iodine on a cotton ball and you just put it on the teeth which have the tooth decay. And you do it only for a few days to stop the tooth decay from going so fast and destroying your teeth. And after this, what I found useful is this. So we've been using it since 2019, that's 4 years, and I buy it every few months just to make sure I never run out, because it's incredible. We had surgeries for my son's nose, and we took those things out from his nose and cysts which he had, polyps. But that did not solve the problem of sleeping with open mouth. He is still sleeping with open mouth, even if we corrected the lip tie and the tongue tie and the nose problem and anything what he had in his throat. He's still sleeping with open mouth. And what I did is this. That's how it is. It's just like a tooth potty. and you just take it and you just apply it like this on your teeth, and it covers the teeth so well, and it remineralizes them overnight. And even if you keep sleeping with open mouth, they will not degrade like they did before. This is tip number 1. It's absolutely incredible. It has changed everything for me. I was miserable before then. In 2017 I was born. 2018 we began having big issues since his teeth were coming in, they were destroyed. And I was brushing his teeth 3 times a day. I had toothbrush with me everywhere I was going, just going like, And I was trying all kinds of toothpaste and tooth products and so on. None of them did what this toothpaste did. So I'll give you a link too if you want. Risewell, that's the one I'm using. It has also hydroxyapatite. So hydroxyapatite is a type of bioavailable calcium, very powerful for remineralizing teeth. Anything we put in our mouth goes to our brain, goes into our body, goes into our digestive system. You don't want to have a toothpaste with fluoride in it. It's destructive to our bodies. Risewell has this hydroxyapatite, and it's very useful. It has been so amazing for me to use for my son. So Bliss Energetics cover the teeth so they don't decay overnight. And these ones we're using 2 times a day. You can get any other toothpaste, you can buy anywhere else. You can just make sure it has this hydroxyapatite, which is the bioavailable calcium. There are other forms right now, it's Boca or other things. I did try the same stuff. Right now I'm buying 4 of them for cheaper, so I just have a preference because it comes to the budget as well. So definitely when you have a tooth decay and you have a child, what I see happening is lots of parents are going to these procedures, different. They ask about how to do a root canal, fillings, and all these extractions. When my son was decaying, his teeth were decaying like absolutely crazy, we went through lots of pediatrician dentists, and I was asking questions. What should we do? How can it be solved without doing this type of big surgeries? But they said, no, it's not possible. So these 2 teeth, they were preparing me to go and do a total anesthesia surgery or other type of surgery to take these 2 teeth out, because they said it's not possible to stop the decay until the gums. But right now, my child is almost 6, and a few months earlier this year, his 2 teeth fell on their own, and the 2 other teeth, naturally the adult teeth, already came in, and they're big and strong and beautiful. But was in 2020 when the doctors were already, many gave me the opinion, but we needed to take out these 2 teeth in front or grow them out or do some kind of filling. I refused all of those options. Refused them. I said I'll find a way. And it was not easy, guys. I've tried so many things, especially with a shitty thing which I have at home, because I always didn't have enough money to get what I needed to try something else, to continue learning, investigating, and see what works for his body, because he has a gene mutation. He doesn't absorb well minerals. He doesn't absorb and methylate well the B vitamins. So that's one aspect to it. When coming to doctor, they did a procedure called, so they applied a substance called silver diamine fluoride on these 2 teeth of his. I refused to do the whole mouth because he had 12 teeth decay at that time, at 3 years old. And he said, well, let's do just at least 1 or 2 and stuff. And I said, just put here in between, because he had very big decay, and at that time I wasn't sure what's going on and what to do anymore. And he did put that silver diamine fluoride. It's a type of substance which has fluoride in it, and from what I understood, it has some kind of component of mercury, even a type of metal which are in different food cans, and different substances, heavy metals in that thing. And I realized that his vision was not working properly after doing that procedure. Like, nobody would connect these things, like what's going on, but I did notice the big difference in his vision and his eyes. I do not recommend doing with silver diamine fluoride. I recommend going this different way, to apply just iodine of 2% right on the tooth, which is getting decayed basically, and applying the bliss energetics overnight every single time. And this will prevent the tooth decay from going deeper and deeper. Another thing which I want to cover today is to make sure that you understand what this book has to say. Probably, Christina, you read it and you know it. So, Cure Tooth Decay. What does this book speak about? And it is about our ancient way of living, and not eating the way we do now in modern lives, because right now we don't have enough nutrients, and we are mineral deficient since we are in mom's womb. That's the very reason that the mom has tooth decay and the child as well. Right here, it's an example. You can see here are good teeth, and here not so good. You can see an example. So this Cure Tooth Decay, it's not a big book. Definitely buy it for yourself and read and learn and understand that it's possible to remineralize and repair cavities naturally. Ramiel Nagel doesn't know, probably at this time when he writes this book, about the products I'm speaking today, about this topic or application of a tooth potty, because this lady who does it, she's in California, and she's an aromatherapist for many years, and she began doing these things in her kitchen. There were so many people having success from her products, but I had to wait for months and months and months on end to actually get it from her. Basically, we were like 800 people waiting for 200 products only. So it's amazing now that she was able to scale and have a lot more people help her do it, because she was doing it just to her husband. I found very big relief in having this product in my home. It was a big changer for us, because anything I tried, and I'll show you guys everything here I have in front of me, what we did. Definitely avoid mercury fillings, definitely avoid fluoride toothpaste, aluminum deodorant, and so on. You know that those are toxic basically. And when it comes to living healthy and creating a safe environment for us, this means not using shampoos which are toxic, having SLS in them, and all kinds of parabens and preservatives and so on. Not using, and I can give you some links and recommendations of what's a good shampoo, what's a good detergent, what's a good dishwasher powder, or what's a good dish gel, or some pots and pans, because they are full of aluminum as well, and they they destroy our bodies in their own ways. So definitely that's an aspect which I would like you to look at, and it's not that hard when you have someone to walk you through that. I did this recently with a client of mine. She just took her phone, she paid me for my time, and she went through all over her kitchen. She's here in America. So she went all over her kitchen, her house, and we looked at everything, and she just began replacing. And another thing what comes to mind is water filter. And because we are all mineral deficient, especially we are magnesium deficient, I recommend very much to get a filtered water which allows the minerals to stay in it. System like reverse osmosis is not just very expensive, but it also chelates all the minerals from it and leaves a dead water. We need to make sure we have a well mineral water in our home. What I personally did, I was not able to install a whole house mineral water system, but I did smaller pieces. So basically I did under the kitchen structure water unit, which allows the water to be not just cleaned out of toxins, but also to leave the minerals in, and that was very important for me. And now we, my mom and everyone in the house, we noticed that the water's taste changed a lot, and it makes you crave more water. It just makes you want it because it's much tastier. It's almost like spring water, and it's amazing. I didn't think it would be the case because I was reading, researching, and finding the best filters. Before then, I had a Berkey system for a few years. I don't say that it's bad. It's a good option than just tap water, but I definitely feel the taste of this structured water unit. Most of us are so mineral deficient because of our soils. Our soils are mineral deficient. We use too much sanitizer, too much soap of antibacterial properties and so on, but we are from bacteria. On our body, skin, everything needs to be bacteria. From one to another person, we always send bacteria and different living organisms, but that's normal. One thing which is not normal today is using so much cleansing all the time and taking showers with soap too often. And taking showers with soap too often, that's another cause of lower immunity. In no way I'm doctor, and I don't say to not take showers with soap, but once in a while you can do like 3 times a week. You can use soap and wash your body, and just water most of the time, and that can make also a big difference in the way you're feeling. The soil is so deficient in nutrients, and the one thing which I found common for people is the mineral deficiency in magnesium. And magnesium, there are multiple types of them, and absorbs very hard from grains. So seeds and grains and nuts should be packed, and they are full of magnesium, but you're not able to pull out that magnesium or other minerals, zinc and other minerals from there if you do not prepare it properly, basically, accurately. What happens is that everything in nature has its own protection to itself. So let's say even that tiny grain or a seed or nuts or all the things that we're eating, buckwheat, rice, different pumpkin seeds, everything on its own has a protection layer, especially walnuts and almonds. They have a protection layer of phytic acid. You are able to remove that phytic acid if you leave the grains or the seeds or nuts in water with baking soda. So that allows the phytic acid to go out of that product, basically, and allows you to actually absorb the vitamins and minerals. Otherwise, phytic acid is there to protect the grain or the nut or the seed from molds, from fungi, from insects, from all kinds of things. So that's the reason that we do have these mineral deficiencies, because we're not preparing it properly. Before, you can read this book, Winston Price Foundation, the degeneration, nutrition and physical degeneration, and you can see and understand why are people today with very long mouth right here, the mandibular and the maxillar are forward basically. It's because the mom did not have enough nutrients in her womb when the child was developing to have enough to feed this bone and grow it out so the child has space for teeth. That is the reason, but we have always teeth on top of another. Lots of people are with this crooked teeth, and they have teeth on top of another, and my child has them not straight as well. They're like turning a lot, and one grows on top of another. That's the reason that they are mineral deficient, and minerals are being well absorbed in fats. And what has been happening in the American culture, which leads the entire world, is basically that if you don't have enough fats in your diet, especially saturated fats, you're not able to pull out those vitamins and minerals which are fat absorbable, like vitamin A, E, D. Those are very important to have a healthy tooth and a healthy bone structure. The whole skeleton depends on our ability to pull out vitamins and minerals from foods so we can absorb them. This book will really open your eyes like this and understand what Winston Price did. He basically made a study and saw that people that were eating ancestrally were eating lots of fish, meat, butter, cheese, raw milk, unpasteurized cheese and raw milk, and other different animal and fish products and eggs, lots of healthy pasture-raised eggs, not pasteurized. You can tell that he knows what he's been talking about for many years, and that's the way this book was written. So basically Ramiel took the information from this book and made it mostly to the era right now we're in. He basically, this book comes in and recommends what's right now on the market. Let's say I have here Arctic cod liver oil, and he speaks about cod liver oil. So basically this book was written way long before when Price Foundation did it, but this one was right now, like recently, and that is why I recommend reading this one, because it's like a blueprint. You'll know what to do. A few things which I definitely want you to understand and make sure is that there are ways to go around the tooth decay and improve it. And in these two books and in my Nutritional Therapy Association school, I realized that the organ meats are the most nutritious foods we can have. They're healthy, definitely. Beef heart, chicken heart, beef liver, chicken liver. The beef liver and chicken liver are full of copper, especially beef liver is full of copper, retinol, iron, which is bioavailable right into the beef liver, and the other types of iron I would not recommend taking synthetic versions of it, because it causes way more issues than good. I will get to this next book, but definitely when you have an issue like that, you don't want to be reading everything, then I can help you. because I have read them all. Definitely beef organs, meats, fish, soaked nuts, soaked seeds, and soaked grains are good choices. I can give you the guides. If you'd like, I can post them right into my Healthy Moms with Anna Beckwith group, and you can get it from there and download it for yourself. I will actually put a note for myself in here. Soaked nuts and seeds. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be going through the products I have at home. It's not commercial, it's not affiliation, it's not like I'm promoting something for money. No way. It's just what I have at home and what I've been using. If somebody is interested, you know, like, that's good for you. If you're not interested, then you can learn somewhere else, but definitely I'm here to do what I love the most. Soaked nuts, seeds, these are a few guides which can show you, like, all nuts can be soaked only 4 hours, but almonds need to be soaked 8 hours. And you can do it in baking soda, or you can do it with just some salt. So that's up to you if you'd like to try one or the other. The salt actually helps them get more mineral. Basically, you absorb much better those minerals. I'm talking to you in very simple terms, so you understand what you are up to, so what you have to do basically. But in this book you can see that it's very, very important to have vitamin C foods. And also one more thing is that we don't want to be supplementing calcium. We don't want to be supplementing different minerals like calcium or iron or the vitamin D without the proper testing. That's a big problem which I've seen in people, lots of people, and even in my country, who are poor like I don't know what, but they definitely try to invest and buy calcium supplements because they think that it will help them, but actually it hurts them more. Because if you eat certain vegetables, if you eat lots of dairy and cheese and milk, then you're certainly not calcium deficient. Calcium, it's not that you don't have enough of it. Maybe there are certain cofactors which doesn't allow you to use it properly. If you're not well hydrated, if you don't have enough magnesium, that's another issue, that you are not able to use properly the calcium. So calcium and iron can be a big problem for people to actually supplement, but they sell them like sunflower seeds all over the place. And people think that, oh, I'll take some calcium, or my bone will grow better. No BS, because it will not, and it will make things worse for us. Now that I talked about Ekaterina, hi, I spoke about how to heal tooth decay and what I did to stop the tooth decay for my child, with just a few things, but I talked in more details earlier. Thank you for coming here. But definitely at this point, I am gonna speak about my child's hand and how I was able to help him heal his hand when it was broken. His arm, basically right here, his wrist, both bones were broken in about May. Yep. In May, he fell from monkey bars, high, like 7 feet high or 8. And he broke his hand in both bones. What had happened, it was like miraculous, because I have learned about the power I have within even deeper. The more I learned about nutrition, the more I tried to apply it, the more I saw how it works. I got more confident, but that point just absolutely blew me away. My child did not need any medication for pain, like nothing, absolutely. His broken bones, they were like shaking in here. And we went to the ER, and the doctor was like amazed. Did you give him Tylenol? Did you give him ibuprofen? What did you do that he's not in so much pain, like he's not screaming or crying so much? He was like crying, like because it was very big hand, like it was very inflamed. We went to the urgent care and they did an x-ray and they saw that it's broken, and they put a splint on him, not a cast. A splint is just like a cover like that. But what happened is that I prepared him from home. I basically have been giving him Arnica Montana of 3 types. I was giving him 30C, the 200C, and I was giving him the 6C. And I was giving it alternatively. The moment that I found out that he had this broken hand, I was at work and I flew right home and I began giving him 5 pellets under his mouth. Every 5-10 minutes I was giving him. The rule is that you need to wait 15 minutes, but I was giving him more faster because I didn't want him to be in a lot of pain. So here is just an example. It's not a commercial, it's not that I make promotions or anything with this. I don't have any affiliation with homeopathics. The boron I have, but also I do have these aloes. With them, I do have an affiliate if you'd like to buy it, because it is organic and it's the same price as this. It's the things which I've been buying at the place where I was working, so that's what I had at that time. What I did is I was giving him alternatively Arnica Montana every few minutes, and that just absolutely kept the pain away. Or it kept it for at the minimum. And after that, what I did was actually absolutely amazing. I'm preparing right now to show you guys the homeopathics I have. Calcarea, Fluorica, Phosphorica. Let's see if I have the third one. Okay, Calcarea, Fluorica. Yeah, I have multiple of this, but none of the other. Okay. Yes, I do have it. Okay, Calcarea, Fluorica. So, when he had fever, I was giving him Belladonna 30C, and it worked perfect. He had fever just for a few minutes the first day when it was that acute broken hand, broken wrist, and he was 5. We only used Arnica for pain and nothing else. And what I did is create a protocol for him. So if you'd like the protocol, just let me know. Right here I have Calcarea Phosphorica, Calcarea Fluorica, and Symphytum officinale. And if you read about these 3 things, you can see that it can help heal bone, restore bone trauma, and just be a cofactor to absorb the minerals to heal that bone. But it actually works for behaviors as well. I'm not a homeopathic, I'm not specialized in it, not certified, and I don't think that all the moms need to be specialists in everything to be able to help their children. But if you go to the doctor, the first thing will be that they will give you Tylenol. The second thing is that they will put a cast on you, and you'll just go out on that broken hand and stay for free for a month or 2 to just heal it in that cast. But one thing what I did the second day, my 5-year-old had such a broken hand, but I didn't keep it closed like that in that splint. I opened it up, cut it all off, and I've been using on his hand castor oil. So I took castor oil, It's very, very thick, and not just helps grow hair and eyelashes and eyebrows, but also penetrates very deep in the tissues. And I took a castor oil and applied it all over his hand, and I also have been applying arnica cream. So arnica cream local. At that time I didn't even have any, so I was just putting some arnica peel like that. I was just grounding very well and mixing it with this, and I was applying it on the hand. So that was just the first trial. After this, I applied on his hand. I don't have any affiliation for Dr. Wolf as well. Everything that I show you guys, I truly, honestly have inside my house, and I truly believe in it because I saw the results. You can read about what is DMSO and how it can help. DMSO is a substance which can help you heal bone or actually break it if you have too much of it in one place. So DMSO gel can help people who have arthritis, who have issues in their joints, in their back and their necks and so on. One thing which you want to make sure you do is you dilute it very, very well. I took just a tiny amount and I applied it all over here. I diluted it with coconut oil and applied it very well here. Make sure you always wash the hand very well before you apply, or your tummy or your back, because DMSO takes anything what's on your skin, color, dye, all kinds of things what's on the skin, and it drives it very deep in the tissues. So if you have clothes on before you have this, make sure you wash it very well, dry it all out before you apply DMSO. DMSO can also help you drive essential oils very deep in the tissues. So this thing will just open up the pores and go very deep in the tissue, go all the way to the bone and heal it if you have enough of it, like okay. And it's just a substance with aloe vera. I know many people don't know it, but I've been researching Amanda Vollmer for a long time. So here it is. It's just like a gel, and you can use this. See, it's just like a gel. You can use this for broken bone, for arthritis, for back pain, for other issues which you have, but always make sure you wash that part of the body. Another thing which I do have also here, and I gave him, is DMSO liquid. So here is DMSO liquid. I just gave him 1 drop in 5 ounces of water. So I kept giving it. It's full with sulfur. It's called dimethyl sulfoxide. So it also drives any minerals or any things which you want to detox, basically. These will go very deep and detox your body. It just works miraculously. One thing what I'll say again, I'm not a doctor. I don't recommend this to everyone and everywhere. It is a suggestion which worked for us, for my son and for me, or for my mom, or other people I worked with. But it's a thing which I want to recommend and definitely look into. So here is a book, Healing with DMSO. Amanda Vollmer is a homeopath and a holistic doctor from Canada, and she wrote about healing with DMSO. Here she is. She's absolutely amazing, guys. She woke me up even deeper when it came to healing and understanding, because it's possible to do with DMSO and with hydrogen peroxide. I do have another book about hydrogen peroxide, how to use it with hydrogen peroxide and with DMSO, how to use them basically for to help your body not just detox, but also get that vitality. Because having too much iron, too much calcium, which is not well absorbed and not well used, and having molds and fungi in our bodies, because that's another issues and why we have this blocked nose and not able to breathe through our nose, and we get tooth decay. Anyway, one thing which I want to mention here is that we all can learn something to do today at home, and that's what Amanda spoke here. She was on a lot on YouTube. She was blocked out because of her content and the way she talks about about things openly. But she was an absolutely catalyzer for me to understand that I need to take care of my son or myself by myself to know it. She said, what do you do if your child's hand is broken tomorrow? And I don't know if I imagined if I attracted that to myself, but I definitely know that I knew what to do because I read her book, which is really good. It's a very, very short book, and it's not a lot to, you know, like too much. But she here speaks about how to use DMSO and castor oil, for example. She speaks here about how to help heal tooth decay, also with DMSO, colloidal silver, and here is colloidal silver I have at home. Again, no commercial, no affiliation of any kind. It's the one I use at home. I just buy it for myself, for my kids. So I'm using this hydrogen peroxide as a wash for the mouth, and I also use just some castor oil, and I do swishing around. I do this for about 10 minutes, at least once in 3-4 days you can do it. If you can do it more often, even greater. And you can also do this, the colloidal silver, with the DMSO water and just swish it in your mouth. What I do is I just buy separately like a small bottle, and I mix these two things, and I have them in the bathroom ready to go when I need them. So these are 3 books which I recommend very much. Definitely this one for tooth decay, definitely this one for understanding how to heal bone, and there is so much more here, how to heal, and I'm not a healer in any way here. Again, it's what the book says. Okay, the book says here that it can heal and it can support the eyes health. Also to do hydrogen peroxide drops, and very well diluted and properly done, and also how to do the DMSO for hearing, for different issues in our body, because everything is connected. When a tooth is infected or you have an issue in your mouth, when it goes all the way down to your organs, to your limbs, to your feet, to your hands, it's absolutely connected. And all the meridians from the mouth go into our organs, and it just affects our body in many ways. Here is another book, and I spoke about iron. Definitely this book, if you can't read it, you can listen to it. It's on Amazon, just audiobooks, and you can read why you should not supplement with iron, because we are not iron deficient when it shows as anemia, but we probably have too much iron in our bodies. When you see on a pasta, on crackers, on pretzels, on all kinds of things which you are buying, flour and different mixes, when it says fortified or enriched flour, and it says niacin, natamycin, riboflavin, all of those things, those are things which are synthetic, to not say different. They are synthetic. So supplementing with synthetic iron and folic acid, because folic acid is another contributor to these issues in our health today. Having that creates a cascade of issues in our bodies. Always look for non-fortified things. So basically, if it's pasta, sure, just durum wheat semolina, nothing else in it. It shouldn't be, or whole wheat something. It does not need to have fortification done. Fortified cereal, fortified oats, fortified, enriched flour, enriched. These two words are very important for you to remember when you go to shop, because having folic acid synthetic will basically mess your body around, and you will tell that it has that folate, but it does not. The body does not recognize folic acid. It recognizes the folinic acid or folate acid, and it should not be in a form as folic acid. But unfortunately, not just in supplements, which lots of people pay for it, but it's also in pastas, in crackers, and all kinds of chips. I've looked at all the supplements out there are full of folic acid. So definitely that's a big no, and to change it. When it comes to supplements, that's a whole new world of ooh. It's good to know how to read the ingredients and to get some a few quality supplements if you need them, and not a lot. The more is not the better. Not at all when it comes to supplements. And I learned that on my own way, and it was hard. Like, it's good to learn before it's too late. What is doing, what's his name? Morley Robbins. He has a Facebook group, and it's called Root Cause Protocol, and his book is Cure Your Fatigue, because he says that most people are vital deficient, like they have no life in them, they have no more motivation, they can't keep up with life. It's because they have too much iron, they have too much calcium, and vitamin D3, which is synthetic. These three things are not helping the body. It makes it weaker. And he speaks here about what to stop. He says, stop taking iron supplements. Stop taking vitamin D3 supplements. Definitely don't take D2 vitamins, which is in all the juices and in all the nut milks out there. Stop taking calcium supplements. Stop taking zinc supplements. Molybdenum supplements, and so on, especially prenatal and folic acid, ascorbic acid, citric acid. These are all synthetic. Fructose corn syrup. It's also in all products which are out there today. Stop using industrialized omega-6 like soybean oil, canola oil. I think that's a given and you know it. Toothpaste with fluoride, and tap water is full of fluoride as well. And also he speaks about high carbohydrate and refined goods, which are all those goodies and croissants and bakery things which people are taking. And after this he says what to start taking. So he has a few pages where he says stop taking this and why. And he also has a few things what to start taking and why. And he says here about mineral drops, about adrenal cocktail, which I also do, to take magnesium. We'll talk about it today as well. Thank you for anyone who is here. Thank you for anyone who will come here later. But definitely understanding the power of beef liver. It's the step number 5 actually. Step number 5. Organic beef liver is full with copper. He basically says almost no doctor will ever speak about copper's importance in our bodies. He also speaks about MTHFR mutation and about B vitamins, because it's very important to have the right B vitamins. Not cyanocobalamin, but methylcobalamin should say on the bottle. He speaks about pollen, stabilized rice bran, grass-fed beef liver supplements for those who don't want to have a beef liver organ, basically. Start taking boron foods, basically, and cod liver oil, like the one I showed you right here. Just cod liver oil, not fish oil, but cod liver oil. It's different. So cod is a fish, and they take only the liver, not the fish itself. The fish can get rancid very fast, but the oil from the liver doesn't get rancid very fast, and in general it's way more nutritious than the fish oil. It's way more nutrition, DHA, DHPA. Let me see here. Yes, another thing is to start taking silica or diatomaceous earth. That's what it's called. I'll show it to you guys. No affiliation, no reclamation of any kind. I am using this, and I haven't had it this morning. It's just I've created so many routines. Fermented or distilled is better. And why? Fermented, do you speak about cod liver oil? About what? Thank you, Christina, for the question. So here is the diatomaceous earth. It's a type of just clay. That's how it is. It's just like a powder. It's clay. You don't touch it with metal. I don't believe fermented cod liver oil is a better choice. I've seen mixed questions and answers to this, and I bought the fermented cod liver oil, and I believed at that time that it was good, but I had to return it. 2 times I bought it, but I had to return it 2 times because I realized that fermented cod liver oil might be rancid a lot more than the regular one cold pressed, which they make. I don't believe fermented cod liver oil is a good choice. I've seen so many mixed comments, but definitely I saw it for myself that it was impossible to take that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't say that I know everything, but I did see what works for me and for other people. So diatomaceous earth, this one, or just basically silica, it doesn't just improve the mineral contents in our bodies, but it also helps us to detox. So this clay, and I also use another type of clay, which is just bentonite clay, it's called, and again, no affiliation, no commercial here. I like to use these things. They're binders, they're like magnets. They go into our intestines and they pick up any toxins, and many times that's parasites, that mold, that's different bacteria and viruses, and they take them out. And if we go through this discussion and understand more that our intestines are their own world, and basically the parasites, because we all have them, and they should be in our large intestine, they shouldn't be in smaller intestine or in other parts of the body, in the brain, in the lungs, or any other parts of the body. The parasites are a normal part of human being as long as they stay in check and they do not go in other places other than the large intestine. So if we have too much of them and they begin just being all over the place and absolutely spreading and multiplying a lot, then that's a big issue. They do multiply a lot when you have lots of sugar foods, lots of mold and toxins. They are full of them. So basically, why do I take this? Dermatogeos are, sorry if I don't say it right, or clay, they go and pull on that. So you just take half of teaspoon, not of metal, just a plastic or a wood spoon, half of it or half of the other, and you just drink that. It's waterproof mud, basically. Dr. Ox speaks about it all the time, but it's so important to have that clay in our bodies. Why animals like to rock on that salt, on that soil? It's because we need that, and the animals instantly know that. And we did that before when we didn't wash our products like crazy. Our products now is being washed 4 or 5 times and also it's washed many times in fluoride water and all this toxins water, full of pesticides water and chlorine and so on. So those things are not helping us. Definitely taking some clay in your water can also help you have more energy and remineralize your teeth. So start taking iodine from food sources, and he speaks about what foods and how much to have, and he even gives different recommendations, like how much to do in the morning, what to do in the afternoon, what to take for lunch. Let's say for beef liver with lunch to begin with phase 1, 1,500 milligrams. So he basically understands that people are so busy and they don't know how to create a new routine, and he created it for them. There is a free page on root cause protocol on Facebook group where he says what to do and how much bee pollen to take and how often and how to use it and how much selenium and so on. I am a big catalyzer basically, and I believe that food should be our medicine and not medicine our food. He speaks here about how much iodine and what kind to take, and he absolutely goes in detail why you should not supplement of iron and what actually happens at the very deep level. Our body is not able to push that iron around and circulate it if we don't have enough copper. And if you don't have enough copper, hair will go gray much faster. That's a copper deficiency, first of all, and retinol deficiency, or vitamin A we call it. Retinol comes from liver, chicken liver, or from chicken liver, or from eggs, especially pasture-raised eggs. So definitely check that out, this book, Cure Your Fatigue. Yeah, would you please post the names of these books? The video is mirrored and it's hard to see the name of the books. Thank you. Definitely, I will post the link for people who want to see them, or just photos. So again, Cure Your Fatigue by Morley Robbins. This book I read 2 times and still learning more about it, because every time remembering more. Healing with DMSO by Amanda Vollmer. I'm not a promoter of books here, but definitely we need education to know what to do. Cure Your Fatigue, probably you, Christina, have it, for those people who don't, just in case. And Nutrition, Physical Degeneration by Western Price. I will take photo and post them in my group when I'm done with this live. I will also post my links for the different products. There are a few which I have affiliate with. They will give you a discount and they will give me a percent of it, just like 5% of whatever people buy, or different for every company. So if you want to support me in that, and if you learned anything new today, definitely I would like you to take that and apply. If you have any more questions, to let me know, because it's a new era, it's a new learning way, it's a new type of living. We all are living in a different way, and it's not that I live not in Moldova right now where I was born, I live in America, but I do see all these moms struggling, taking all these kids to pediatric dentists and having these extractions, fillings, root canals, and working on them. And I see in these big groups of moms where one asks a question and yeah, it's fine, it's okay, go and do this anesthesia and go do this extraction, what to do, that's what I did for my child. But what do you do after that? You continue feeding him crackers and goldfish and all kinds of other juices full of different chemicals in them, really, preservatives and so on. One thing which I wanted also to note here is that people who believe that if you are a vegetarian or pescatarian, you are healthy, unfortunately that's not exactly true. Most of these people are mineral deficient, and especially they are vitamin B12 deficient if they are eating vegetarian. So definitely these books which I mentioned before, they explain the power of beef organs or chicken organs or other animal organs. It's very important to get those nutrients and to have the healthy fats, healthy saturated fats, and like, let's say, lard, ghee, goose fat or dark fat, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, are all these fats which can help us drive those nutrients from the foods into our bodies. Another thing which is very important to mention here is that lots of people are afraid of salt because of the fear which has been spread around a lot. I did a presentation recently on salt and realized what was going on. I had a client who didn't have any salt for about 40 years in his life. He ate only lots of vegetables and fruits. He was a vegetarian and he was not eating any salt. Like, he had salads, he had all kinds of vegetables cooked and so on, and no salt at all. Well, that's a terrible existence, I will tell you. Also, he didn't have any fats or very little olive oil once in a while. It's because the doctor said if you have salt, you'll have hypertension. If you'll have fat, you'll have cholesterol very high. So he excluded all of those, and the doctor told him that 40 years ago, but the person was still following those advices and instructions to the day. When he came to me, he could not sleep at night at all. He began eating eggs when I told him to try just to eat every single day 2 eggs, and he said he began sleeping better, feeling better. But not having salt in our diet, it's a big basically it's a big step backwards into our health. We need salt to be able to absorb vitamins and minerals, all the nutrients, plus we need fats to absorb those vitamins and minerals. So definitely salt is another big one, and what I personally do is that I carry with myself in a small little bottle salt. When I'm stressed out or something doesn't work out, or I don't have food with me that moment when I want to eat and I'm out, I just take a few crystals of salt in my mouth. The salt I have, it's this one. Actually, I have here a whole, look how beautiful I am. Okay, so there you go. Right here it's Celtic salt. It's just from the store, you can buy, but definitely Celtic salt has around 82 trace minerals, which are very important for our bodies, and it helps, it supports the adrenals, It supports the mineral status in our body. We're able to regenerate bone and teeth, and it's absolutely incredible. I definitely recommend using salt and adding it even to your water to make it mineral. So those who have a reverse osmosis system at home, you can take just a little bit of this salt and add it to your water when you drink it. Or you can add of these crystals in your mouth to hold it in your mouth and get all those minerals into your body. Especially when you are very, very stressed, your adrenals will ask you or for sugar or for salt. It's just that moment when you're stressed. That's why drinking water when you're stressed is the best thing what you can do. But if the water doesn't have the minerals, then you need to add them. That's just a little bit of salt. Don't be afraid of salt. Many times, and I have read lots of articles where it's clear and then understand, but that is why women have give birth to children who have these big issues with their teeth. Hi Delia, I think you missed the beginning of the video. I think it was good and informative. I began at 10 o'clock and 10 minutes, I think, like an hour and 10 minutes ago. I definitely recommend you checking it out from the beginning. What I did to stop my son's tooth decay. Maybe I went too wide on certain things, but I did want to be as honest and as real as possible what I did with my son. Here I was talking about salt and how important it is to have lots of salt, as much as we feel the need of it. Our bodies are the best GPS ever. We don't need to eat or to drink or to do something just like it was told and scheduled by a doctor. It's just nutrition. We need to eat when we feel the need to eat, and we need to drink when we feel the need to drink. No worries, you can see it. I'll make sure to post it in the group, the live, and you're able to see it all. Definitely one aspect which is very important is the minerals. Minerals are big one, and you guys, if you see the beginning of this video, you'll understand what we talk about here. Magnesium, it's a big one. The sodium is also very important. I'll be posting all the pictures of the books and a few of the products if you'd like to see what I am personally using. Another aspect which I wanted to talk about is breastfeeding. I have heard all kinds of options and ideas that if you're breastfeeding your baby, you'll have tooth decay. That's not entirely true. I've seen a podcast from a biological dentist, and he definitely understands the power of saliva and remineralizing that, and just making sure that the child is able to have a good nutrition. And good nutrition, I speak here about chicken liver, beef liver, grass-fed butter, unpasteurized raw milk, unpasteurized cheese. I am a believer of this ancestral way of eating and the Western Price Foundation, because he really discovered how people were able to be healthy earlier in their lives before than what's happening right now. I have a picture. People now have access to too many things which are not healthy for them. That's the reason that we have so much tooth decay and kids needing to go to these horrible procedures of filling, extractions, the root canals, and so on. Those are not healthy. They are traumatizing the children. I don't say to not go do it, but I do say that they are there for the emergency needs, but it is possible to stop a tooth decay and basically heal it like I did, and I spoke about it in the video. So those who didn't see it, You can see earlier I spoke about how I healed my my son's hand. He had broken wrist, and how we healed it naturally, and how we healed his teeth decay. Right here is a cod liver oil, which I'm using. There are better out there, but I'm using this for the budget I have. I also use black seed oil. Black seed oil, it is amazing. So black cumin seed oil, you can read about it. This one only has organic black cumin seed oil, Nigella sativa. It also supports the health of the intestines and the health of the mouth per general. It supports also the kids who have any type of gene mutation, and those who have MTHFR is definitely one thing which they want to have, because the cells in our bodies are as flexible or as hard depending on what fats we eat. And if we'll talk here about fats just briefly to understand, so right here is just a paper, and let's say right here I have a table, if you hear it. So what happens in our bodies? It's absolutely incredible, and I will show you it this way so you understand. Basically, if our body has this, sorry, let me close this Facebook page because I see too many messages coming through. So if our bodies basically were made of cells, every single piece of us is made of cells and bacteria. All the cells have a membrane to it. The membrane can be as hard or as soft depending what we eat. And what does that mean to you? Like, what do you understand? If it's soft like this, the nutrients can go in it, and different toxins, when all that metabolism is done and mitochondria is all happy, it can excrete. But what happens if we, and that happens if we basically have healthy fats, like lots of omega-3 fats, and a good ratio between omega-3s and omega-6. Omega-6 will be like olive oil. You can also have like coconut oil, avocado oil. Those are healthy fats to have, and also saturated fats are important as well, to have lots of ghee, goose fat, dark fat, lard, beef tallow, and all kinds of animal fats, even like from a steak or from a bacon. Those fats, if it's a quality of course, they can help regenerate and just keep this cell membrane very soft and malleable, and nutrients can go in and all the toxins can go out. But what happens if you have soybean oil, canola oil, and cottonseed and all this palm oil? What happens is that the cell becomes rigid, hard in that membrane, no nutrients can go in, and no toxins can go out. And most of the times the cell receptors have the cells have receptors for sodium. Most people don't have enough sodium in their diets. They don't have enough sodium, and that is why you get very well a lot dehydrated, because you don't have enough sodium. So if you don't have enough sodium, you're not able to open that cell and receive water. That's the reason that you want to have as much salt as possible with your water. If just to feel the taste of it, I don't say to add a spoon or 2 or 3, just to add salt to your food, to add salt to your water if it's not a mineral, healthy, filtered water. I'm just so passionate when it comes to this, and I want you guys to understand how important it is to take care of our bodies. I see a big trend in this country, and I not like I hate or anything, but I definitely see people here taking care of their cars, changing filters, changing oil, putting gas in, doing all of those, and taking care and to shine all those wheels and stuff. But they don't do it for their bodies. And I see it repeatedly a lot of times. I'm just sick and tired of seeing that. I'm here to promote health. And a lot of times I do see people from my country or from other countries, they will get, like interested in nutrition and begin to actually put some thought into what they're doing only when they're sick, only when it's so much have gone. They go to doctor and they do things as they did before what they saw grandma, grand, but it's not everything always black and white. Most of the times we need to look at the patterns we have. And if we have healthy issues, we don't need to be looking for all the specialists in the world. We need to begin looking within. What's in my kitchen? What's in my pantry? What do I feed my body with? And how much toxins I get in and how much I'm able to detox that. Because we're like a machine. We get in, get out, get in, get out. And if we talk about this, here is constipation. The truth is that almost every one of us is constipated. And constipated doesn't mean that you cannot go to the bathroom a week or two or whatever people are told. But if you go to the bathroom, and I love Dr. Wolf when he speaks about it, he says if you go to the bathroom and you try to go, and you just go a little bit, and it's just, I would like to go more, but I can't. And it's just you walk around with a big, you feel very bloated, and you feel that you're still full, but you just went to the bathroom. That means constipation. That means that the body is not able to excrete all those toxins. And many times it can take up to a week or 2 or 3, all those toxins in our intestines, and it makes tiny little holes, and it gets out into our system and in our lymph nodes. And all those toxins are making us sick. It creates this inflammation, all these food allergies, sensitivities to foods, to the environment, to avocado, to kale, to all kinds of stuff. It's because we're not in a present moment. We're not digesting well our food. We're not being able to heal our bodies. I can make a video just about digestion, and that alone can take 1 hour. And I can definitely do that, guys, if you are interested to understand. Just let me know in this comment and I'll do it. To understand that we all are eating wrong. Eating wrong, that means we're standing and eating. We are not chewing our food. We're not breathing at least a few times before eating. What our body needs is to rest when it eats. So if you're standing, let me stand, so beautiful. So I'm eating right now. The body receives a message that you are not ready to receive food. The body receives a message that when you are eating standing, that you are getting ready to run from a tiger. We have this reptilian brain, and it just tells it, go, 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 especially in this era right now. Check all the emails, check all the passwords, go there, come here, all of this. We need to take a few deep breaths before every meal. 3 deep breaths is at least. And sit with your feet on the ground and say, thank you, God, for food. Because what happens is magical. Our bodies, even if it's whatever junk from McDonald's people get, once in a while, that won't kill them, won't cause so much inflammation, might a little bit, but it's fine if it's that. But this is very, very important to deep breathing before food, and also not stand while eating. If you stand, you'll absorb just a few of those nutrients, and you'll get even more constipated because you did not absorb the nutrients, and your body is in survival mode. the body says, okay, now it's time to run, so let's keep all these nutrients for another time and just keep going. And that happens a lot of stress as well, and that happens just in daily life, and I see it times and times again. That's where it begins, where people have all these health issues. They have back pain, that's the first thing, but they have constipation probably, and they are dehydrated. But why we're dehydrated? Because we're sodium deficient. We don't have enough salt in our bodies for years and years, and we are dehydrated. Headaches are also a dehydration sign. There are long-term signs of dehydration and short-term signs of dehydration. So definitely, if you'd like to learn more about that, that's another topic I can get rolling into. But I love doing this type of videos. I love getting this feedback and interaction. Yes, Marina, I can talk about digestion another time. Digestion is one of my favorites, and it can definitely teach you how to understand our own bodies, and that the importance of B3 foods are so crucial, and almost nobody talks to us about it. Like we get prepared to go to school, to do that, to do this, but we don't learn about our own bodies, how to build a healthy plate. And it doesn't need to be, everyone doesn't need to be a nutrition specialist to do this. You can look at your own body and feel how much nutrition you want, how much water you want. It's nobody's business to feel your body. You need to feel it. And that's the biggest hurdle I see for people. These books again, Delia here is one of them, Nutrition Degeneration, Cured of Decay. I will link the photos, actually I'll post them in the group, Healthy Moms with Anna Beckwith. Here's my logo. I'm proud of the things that I'm creating, the community of you guys here. Cure Your Fatigue is another one about why we shouldn't supplement with iron. Here is one of the products which I want to talk about, and you can buy it at any store. It's called nutritional yeast, and again, it's not fortified. It says unfortified nutritional yeast, and it's full with amino acids and all these B vitamins. It's full of B4, B12, biotin, phosphorus, riboflavin. It's a type of yeast which tastes like cheese, and you can put it just on your eggs. You can put it, and it smells almost like cookie. So it's very tasty actually. It's again no promotion. It's just like powder rumor. No promotion, nothing, absolutely. I don't support this brand or another. It's just the one I found the best at this time. Unfortified, 100% unsweetened, natural yeast. So it's nutritional yeast of lots of B vitamins. For kids who are cranky and they don't want to eat lots of foods with B vitamins, that's a good source as well, and you can do it. You can see Delia that earlier we spoke about this product and about castor oil, so you can see that in the video earlier. From Bliss Energetics, where I use this tooth putty and put on the teeth of a child to stop the teeth from decaying even if they sleep with open mouth at night. I also use right now Healthy Gums Massage Oil and Healthy Teeth Nourishing Serum. So it's a type of oil, and I just take it on my hands and apply it all over the gums, or you can do it with a Q-tip if you want. I just don't want to waste at all. So here it is. This one is Healthy Teeth Nourishing Serum. I have affiliate of this company because I love it. The products are absolutely amazing. If you want to get it and support me, great. The company is very small. They support only a few hundreds of people they're able to sell, because they are so good. People are just like jumping on them and looking for their products. Another thing which I do give Gabriel is chlorella, and I have this fermented chlorella, and it's cracked cell from Dr. Mercola. I have another idea when it comes to chlorella. Next time I'll get another one, but definitely chlorella is one of those algae, mineral, full of minerals, which can also support the health of the body, removing heavy metals. It's just like a binder, like the clay would be. I really trust this brand as of right now, but I do have others in mind for those who'd like to try. Chlorella is one must basically when it comes to teeth health as well. I also use and make different marshmallows. I make sometimes different jellos. I don't use the gelatin from the store which I sell. I use grass-fed pasture-raised beef collagen. So this one is vital proteins. I guess you guys can see it all over the stores, and you can use it and do that. I do have a recipe what I used and did my own marshmallows with beef collagen, and it's very tasty. I also use Ceylon cinnamon. So if somebody doesn't know the difference between cassia or Saigon and Ceylon cinnamon, there is a big difference. So this Ceylon cinnamon has a different flavor and taste, and actually supports blood sugar regulation. Lots of people have issues with their blood sugar. Ingrid, hi. I think you missed almost the entire video. You can go back and see it from the beginning, what I did to help reverse and stop a tooth decay from the beginning to the end. I started at around 10 a.m. Central Time. Here we speak about Ceylon cinnamon and the difference between Saigon and cassia cinnamon. So the Ceylon cinnamon is very supportive for blood sugar regulation. So people who have any type of blood sugar dysregulation, diabetes, insulin resistance, or other issues. I don't speak about disease as someone who knows how to treat them. No way, I'm not a doctor. I'm simply saying that you can support your body to take this and actually promote healing and support your body to stop those issues which you're having. Because what happens in insulin resistance or when you have a blood sugar imbalance is that you get a very high heat of sugar, and after this the body is not able to pull out enough insulin to neutralize that, and that is the reason that we have these issues. I can talk in another video about this as well. So looks like people are asking me to do a digestion video, start to finish what happens in a digestion. I can talk about blood sugar and minerals, another video, because this can be way too long and people can be like, okay, I don't have a whole day. But definitely those people who didn't watch from the beginning, please go back and see the whole video, because I believe you'll see value in there. Right now I also wanted to show you what I'm using, also just raw unfiltered vinegar. It's the 5% with the mother. So you just take some of this in water. It also promotes and supports the body to with the blood sugar imbalance. Those who have constipation can also use psyllium husk. It is a type of fiber which can nourish the microbiota in your body. And you can just take this, a spoon of this in water, and it becomes a little bit slimy, and you just drink that. When it comes to selenium, I always use Brazil nuts. I don't specifically say that this brand is good or whatever, but that's the one I have now. So when it comes to needing selenium, especially for thyroid health, then 2 or 3 or 4 Brazil nuts a day will keep you away from having those issues, because we need to make sure if we have any type of iodine foods in our bodies, but we need to make sure we have enough also selenium. We always need to make sure this. If we have calcium, we need magnesium. If we have iron, we need to make sure we have zinc, and copper and zinc, and so on. So these are different synergists and antagonistic relationships we constantly have in our bodies. If we need zinc, raw pumpkin seeds are a very good source, and they also have astrogenic. It's a type of substance in it which can act like an antiparasitic. And what I do, I take the raw pumpkin seeds and I mix them with raw unpasteurized A2 milk, and I make like almost like an ice cream. My kids love it so much. Just pumpkin seeds, milk, mix it with milk, and give it to them, because the parasites come for milk, and they will get the astrogenic, which is in raw milk, in the raw pumpkins, and that kills them, basically paralyzes them, and it forces them to go out of your body. It's at least the way I found it useful for myself. There are practitioners who avoid and recommend avoiding milk while doing a parasite detox, where I found it useful for the kids, because kids are a little bit picky. You need to find the ways which work for them to take certain things. Another thing which I do is I also use magnesium hydroxide with them. I do have an affiliate. If you want, I'll put the link below. Crucial for is very good. I use this magnesium hydroxide, and I make my own mineral water, just sparkling water, and I mix of this, and you can make your own magnesium bicarbonate, which is the most bioavailable type of magnesium out there. It is in the milk of magnesia, which they sell in stores, and that's full of other ingredients which you don't want for your body. But this is also great to brush your teeth. It's just a white powder magnesium hydroxide. So here's lots of chemical things. When it comes to coconut oil, I just use this one. Organic virgin coconut oil, cold pressed, unrefined coconut oil is the one which I'm using. There are a lot more options, but the one I have right now at home. When it comes to collagen peptides, I love to use collagen peptides because it's the smallest type of collagen out there. So there is just collagen, a few types of them, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10, that supports different things. One supports hair and nails, another one supports the skin, and so on. This one has a peptide, which means that if they were broken down. I love to get this from Thrive Market, and I do have an account of Thrive Market because I get from there different organic chocolate. I also love this collagen, and I also get from them this collagen, just beef, what's called beef gelatin, yeah, for different things I need. I'm as real as possible. Everything I have been using and being helpful, I'm showing you guys. I do have a lot more, like a huge herbs space for myself because I love herbs, and ironically I didn't know it. Like, I didn't know that I love herbs and I love plants and I love what's this world until I was forced to look at these things for my own health and my child's health. But it became like so much, and I didn't know how to use it to actually make a living. And it took me a while to understand how to combine the modern way of life with the ancestral and all the things in between. Right now for my son, I'm doing like an experiment almost. I'll see what comes out of it. I'm using Pure Body natural liquid zeolite. So this one, and I also use this one, Pure Body Extra. This zeolite goes very deep in the tissues at the cellular level and even in the brain, and will pick up any aluminum, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, lead, any type of toxins, and dries them out of the body. You need to be very well hydrated when you do this type of things, and you go very slow, just like 1 drop of each 3 times a day, or 2 drops. You can begin with that. I'll see what comes out of it. Why I do these things, and I don't know if everyone should do, but definitely where we live, I live in Nebraska, and it's toxic. Everything is sprayed all over the place. The earth doesn't even have any bugs in it or any type of worms. Like, the earth is dead itself, and so much toxins are being sprayed on our foods and on everything. But he was also vaccinated, and he had a lot of health issues from that, and having all this teeth silver diamine fluoride that affected his vision. Lots of things are in between. He also had a full total anesthesia, and all those things are toxins for our bodies. And now I'm trying to help him detox his heavy metals. I first helped him heal his body with astragalus root powder. I also did marshmallow root powder. We also worked with L-glutamine and supported his body that way. We did lots of different bittery teas, like burdock and milk thistle tea and dandelion root tea. Those are very bittery, and they do support the liver in purging those toxins from the bile. So doing those things definitely can impact and help your body. My son had so much or diarrhea or constipation for a long time, and when I began supporting him with different bittery teas and doing this zeolite, it also supported his digestion. Definitely, Delia, we can talk about that. Right now I'm in the video almost like 2 hours. I want to make sure I'm respectful of people's time and my own, but definitely I don't know if you can detox from anesthesia, but you can support your body of course. And to have sulfur in your body before and after is a must, and that means lots of garlic, lots of cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, and especially this before and after, a few days before and a few after, to have DMSO in your body to help support those sulfuration pathways. We have 2 detoxification phases. So our body makes them fat soluble and liquid soluble, basically water soluble toxins, so we can excrete them. And that basically involves to have enough sulfur, enough B vitamins, enough magnesium, potassium, and so on. So when it comes to detoxification, there are multiple things in between, especially from an anesthesia, but definitely sulfur is the biggest one which you want to have. Definitely, if you'd like, I can message you after this, because anesthesia is a big game here too. I am just a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm not an anesthesiologist, but when I went to the doctor to speak to my son's anesthesiologist at that time, I told him my son has an MTHFR mutation. He cannot have a certain anesthesia, and I actually wrote a list of anesthesias which children with MTHFR can have, and anesthesia ingredients which they cannot have. And the doctor, he did not even know how to react to this. He didn't want to receive the education which I brought to him, because I'm not a doctor. Anyway, I told him, but my son cannot have laughing gas. A laughing gas is the one which is being used in all the pediatrics, dentists' offices or other type of adult offices. Laughing gas is the one which is being used in there, and many times you just walking in, it can affect you. And if the children have MTHFR mutation, I am not a doctor and I don't say that you shouldn't do or you should something do. No, I'm simply saying that that was my education for my own research and my own basically needs, is that if a child has an MTHFR mutation, those are the signs of tongue ties, lip ties, and B methylation vitamins. Those are signs that you possibly have an MTHFR mutation. There are many variants, at least 8. When you are not able to detox that. Let me look for that book right now. It's not here. I do have a list of it because I wrote it down for my son to, here it is, for Gabriel, if ever needed anesthesia, I wrote here. It's good to do the propofol, the sevoflurane without nitrous oxide, carbocaine, Versed, or fentanyl. I wrote these things just to make sure, like I'm not giving any type of doctor's advices here, but those are the anesthesias which I found safe for kids who need to go through these procedures and they need to have full total anesthesia. If I would go back right now, knowing what I do now, I wouldn't do a surgery anyway, but it's good to have this option if something happens, like an accident or other things. Right now for myself, what I'm using is this. I love Rogers Apothecary. Woohoo, thank you. Rogers Hood Apothecary. So Parafy, it kills parasites, neutralizes them, paralyzes them. Metal Flash takes out the heavy metals because parasites are full of heavy metals. And the Sustain cleans out the candida from your gut, from the parasites, because we have them, you think or you don't. They're on fruits, on vegetables, on meats or anything. The only thing what can destroy them, it's not cooking, it's not freezing them, it is our stomach juices. And if you have a very strong stomach juice, acidic pH of 1 to 3 or 2, that's great. And you can do it by eating with a rested body, basically. Breathing very deep, that's the first thing to create that acidic pH, and not have lots of sugars, and not drink water while eating. I don't know if I'm able to ship anything. That's the people who do this, the company, because I also bought it just from them, and maybe they do ship in the UK. I'm not sure about that. But definitely, I do have here another one just to talk about magnesium glycinate. Is the one which I take, is sweetish on the taste and it tastes like horrible. It's not expensive. But I do know that almost all the women are mineral deficient. And one thing which I want to make sure is that you understand that your body, it's not a trash can which you can throw in anything. It needs to have a proper care and love. Those who didn't see the video from the beginning, I encourage you to do so. I definitely want to make sure that I let you know. Right now I started a YouTube channel with my son. He's 5 years old, and we are going throughout the stores, and we're taking short little videos, and we put them on YouTube, on my Facebook, and on Instagram, where the child talks about nutrition to our children. Because my son Gabriel has so many big issues of his health. And one time somebody gave him a Gatorade. It was just a neighbor. We gave him just a drink of Gatorade. His face swallowed. His body was just, something was going on of him. And he could not like breathe. And I said, well, it's just from having that Gatorade, whatever it's in it, dyes and natural flavors, and natural flavor is not what you think. It's actually just like artificial flavor. And that affected his body so strong that I asked myself, okay, how do you explain to a child who is 5 years old to not have this or to not have that, when there is just so much commercial and promotion of all this junk everywhere? How? By having them watch something for kids. And I looked online, there is nothing absolutely, and I said, I'll be the one who will do it first. And it just came to me, the idea. I said, I should do this. And it was a child before, and it was harder, but now he's bigger, and he talks, and he is able. The first thing what he knows, it's on all the products, it's canola oil, and he knows about artificial colors, and he knows about corn syrup oil, and he even educated a lady in the store and took out from her cart, and it's just funny what happens. Because he told her corn syrup is not healthy. It creates inflammation in your body. I looked for all these videos on YouTube for something to speak to a child, not an adult to speak to a child, just talking, but showing different drawings or whatever, or a little child talking, nothing absolutely. And I said, I'll be the first one who'll do it. It's my idea. So my child will be talking about nutrition to our children, to your children. But so I invite you to Healthy Moms with Anna Beckwith, or just Anna Pleska or Anna Beckwith. You can find me on YouTube. I can link the link here, and you can see it. Definitely like it, subscribe, share it with other people, because the more feedback we'll see, the more we'll be interested and engaged in it. I have lots of issues right now going on through the stuff I am. Those who know Romanian, I wrote a few posts, and they know what I'm talking about. But definitely, I want you to understand that if I get feedback, then that's when I know that it works, that people need it, that people are interested in it. The services I offer are not just one-on-one and nutrition consultation and walking you through these things and looking at your all your history and understanding what's happening in your body, but also walking through your whole kitchen and pantry and understanding how to remove those things which are toxins and they're not helping your body. At the same time, also can do one-on-one coaching sessions with people, and also group coaching for those who will be interested to learn more about it. But definitely, I want to leave you with one thing at the end. We had 2 hours almost of excitement and sharing, that the power is within us. We just have to take it. God gives us, but He doesn't put it in our mouth. Many people have these things at home. They have vinegar at home. They do have Ceylon cinnamon at home. They have castor oil. They have salt. They have cabbage. They have broccoli, cauliflower. They do have all these things. It's just a matter of finding the right way and the right path for each one of you to use it on a daily basis. It's not something that you take 5 days and you're done. It's food. It's life. Air doesn't have how much of it to take, because that's what I've seen common with people. They ask me, for how long I should do this? For how long I should take an, magnesium or something? It is food, and you don't need to nobody needs to tell you how much or for how long. So definitely empower yourself. If you need any more information, let me know. Marina, thank you for your question. I'll definitely look into to do a digestion video. Delia, if you'd like, you can write me or I can write to you to work further with you if you're interested. I will link down below all the products, and I will show you the photos of the books if anyone is interested to buy anything from those people who I have affiliate with. Thank you so much. If you don't, you can buy it somewhere else. Thank you as well for being here, for sharing with me your questions, and allowing me this space to show myself as honest, as absolutely and as real as possible, as a mom, as a woman, as a practitioner, because it took me many years to realize that I have something valuable to give, and that's what I give today. Just a snippet of it, because it's that's what we talked about, teeth decay. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.